Wiglaf stands in the dark cave entrance of Kajir's abyss. Around him are a bunch of broken rocks and stones littered across the floor in the trap that several cultists had attempted to catch him in. The dead bodies of 3 cultists litter the floor around him. A fourth is in the opening of a hallway that heads deeper into the cave, straight up ahead of him, or to the south, here in the Antarctic region, with the body of another cultist that still has Wiglaf's spear sticking out of his back after Wiglaf skewered him by throwing it in the last session. To Wiglaf's left, or the east side of the map, there is a small opening where a secret door had been slid aside and 3 cultists had come out, and there is a little hallway or something heading north. It is dark, and Wiglaf can't really see too far, and he's going to need to light his torch. So Wiglaf pulls out a torch and some flint and steel, and he lights his torch. And that means he's got to sling his shield over his shoulder, so he doesn't have a shield now. And he holds his torch in one hand, and he goes and he gets the spear and pulls it out of the body of this cultist. And now Wiglaf, although he wants to head inside, he wants to inspect the area that is next to him where the cultists escaped. And so the first thing he's going to do is look in there and see where they came from. Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is Ironsworn Antarctica. We are with Wiglaf, our main character, and he is on a delve through Kajir's abyss. And his goal is to find out what the death cultists are up to, because we are on an Iron Vow quest, where we are, and I forgot to put this, to decorate this box, but we're on an Iron Vow quest where we've completed 6 milestones, and we're trying to find the truth behind the death worshippers. And I think by the time we get through this delve, we will probably find out that truth. We have 5 momentum, 5 health, 5 spirit, but only 3 supply, and that could cause us some trouble. And we've just entered this area and had some unluck finding it, and had to pay a price. And so, yeah, some cultists ambushed us, and another one found us, but we managed to kill them all. And hopefully we haven't been heard by anyone else. And so the first thing Wiglaf is going to do is explore the cave entrance. Before we do that, I just want to review where we are in our previous session. Wiglaf learned that his uncle was a recruiter for the cult. He's a mercenary, and he's working for hire, helping them basically capture people and bring them into the cult. He left the guard shack where he found this information and ended up in a barren valley, and he made camp, and then they continued the journey, and they reached their destination, which is a trail leading up onto a hillside, and there is a cave carved where the entrance is carved like the shape of a human skull. And he went inside and was ambushed by these 3 cultists, and then he was ambushed by another cultist, and he managed to kill them all. But he hasn't really gotten anywhere in this delve, and this is a formidable delve. So he's going to need to get 7 or 8 successes on the delve to get us to enough success that we're likely to locate our objective, which may be the husk. It may be whatever they're doing down here. It might be the white. It might be Uncle Macias. Don't know what our objective really is here, because we're just sort of trying to find stuff out about the death cult. And when we think we know enough, we will see if we can fulfill our Iron Vow. So the first thing we have to do is delve the depths. And so we are going to, he's examining this area and trying to see where it leads. So he's got his torch out, and he and Griff move into the area with the secret door. And Wiglaf, actually I think the first thing he's going to do is see if he can shut this door so that people can't come behind him and ambush him from behind. And I think that's making preparations. He's securing an advantage. So he's going to look at the door and see if he can figure out how to slide it open and close. He doesn't want to close it unless he can also open it. He might sort of pull it almost all the way to, but leave it a crack open so he knows he can get it back open. So he's going to use observation to see if he can figure this out. So rolling a plus wits, and we get a 2 plus 2 is 4 against a 3 and a 2, so that is a strong hit, so we gain advantage. So we're going to we're preparing to act here, so I think we're going to take 2 momentum, and he now has, he's now sort of slid this door most of the way closed, but left it open a crack. He can see the little eye holes that they were using, so he can actually look out into the cave entrance if he needs to. And now he's going to turn around and he's going to explore the depths. He's going to delve deeper, and we're going to roll at plus wits because he's using observation. He's not rushing, and he's not really sneaking here, I don't think. So we're mostly rolling wits, and again, we only have +2 on this, but we have 7 momentum, which is pretty good, and we roll another 2. +2 is a 4 against a 10 and an 8. That is a miss. So we're going to reveal a danger, and that means we go back to our delve, and so wait a minute. With reveal a danger, hang on, I've got to, we might be using the delve, or we might be using something else. So let's see what's in here. We roll a 98, roll twice more. Both results occur. So 86, a resource is diminished, broken, or lost, and 46, encounter a hostile denizen. Okay, so I think the likely thing is whatever we encounter is going to make Wiglaf drop the torch, and it's going to go out. And he's going to have to light another one. So let's go back to the delve, and we'll see what denizen we encounter. We encounter 14. There's another zealot. Okay, so there must be another zealot coming through the hallway to hear. He heard the sounds, and he sees the torchlight, and he comes in with his own torch. Oh, maybe not. He comes in with a dagger. He sees the torchlight. He put his own torch out because he saw the torchlight. And he says, "What are you doing here? How dare you?" And so we've revealed a danger. Do we have to pay any prices on this move? Let me just check. Nope, we just reveal a danger. So there is a zealot here, and we are going to have to enter the fray. Actually, let's ask, is there one zealot or more than one zealot? I'm going to say it's 50-50 that there's more than one. Nope, 10. There is only one of them. So so I think what we're going to do here, because I think this is going to be quick, right? We're just going to fight a battle in a blur. Wiglaf is just going to attack him and try to overpower him with plus iron, right? And the reason I'm doing this is because it's only one zealot. I don't feel like it's necessary to do a progress track on a troublesome guy here. We've already fought a bunch of battles against these guys. So we'll just see what happens instead of doing initiative and all that. So we are rolling plus iron. We have +3, and we do have 7 momentum, so that will help us. We roll, oh gosh, a 1 + 3 is a 4 against a 9 and a 5. That is a miss. So Wiglaf attempts to attack this guy, and so the torch goes out, and he can't see what he's doing, and he dives forward with his spear, and he misses. And the other, the zealot, so let's see, how's the zealot going to do this? I think what's happening, so we're trying to explore this area. I think the zealot drives Wiglaf back, and they end up in the cave entrance, and then the zealot backs up and slams the door shut and locks it. So he is now, there's a zealot over here somewhere. We don't know what he's doing, but he's potentially warning people, and we're stuck in this part of the cave here. So now we're going to have to go the other way, and there are bad guys around. So I think now when we roll denizen, instead of randomly rolling it, I'm going to make it first. We're going to roll on the oracle, ask the oracle. We're going to start with small chance, and every time we reveal a denizen, we're going to upgrade it, that it's going to be a group of zealots. Okay? And the longer it goes, the more zealots there will be. So the first time, if we hit it on small chance, it'll be the zealot went and got one guy and they came back. If we hit it on unlikely, it'll be 2 guys plus him, so there'll be 3 zealots. If it's 50-50, and they get it, it'll be 4, and so on. So basically, he's taking time to gather up more cultists, and the longer it takes, the more it's because he's gathering more of them. At some point, the zealots are going to come back. Now, if we fail this, if the oracle says no, then we'll go into our delve and we'll roll. If it's a zealot, it's somebody who hasn't been alerted, right? So my idea is there's some section of the caves up here. This guy is going to warn them. And this is probably where most of the zealots maybe live, and then maybe down in here is where the other monsters are. And so he's gathering reinforcements to come and stop this guy. So now we're kind of on a ticking clock. And we've got to get through this, and the more times we miss, the more chances we're going to run into a bunch of zealots. And if we run into a lot of them and we start missing on that, then the zealots will go get even more and get reinforcements and stuff. So now when we pay the price, it'll start to be like more enemies come. And so if we end up with more than 3 zealots, we're going to have to upgrade them to like a formidable track. If we end up with more than like 7 or 8 of them, it's going to be extreme. And eventually, Wiglaf's going to have to try to free, and he might be trapped. So one of the things we're going to do is we might not be able to just leave. If we find our objective, we might have to fight our way out because they might come back here and try to trap him at the entrance. So we're just going to see what happens on this delve. This is going to be pretty dangerous, and our character might die, but that's okay. That's part of the fun of Ironsworn. So now we're going to try to delve the depths again. And at this point, I think Wiglaf is doing it with haste. He's like, crap, we've been discovered. So he pulls out another torch, he lights it, and then he's going to, he says, come on, Griff, and he and Griff head to the straight side, right, to the other entrance, and we're rolling with plus edge because he's running. He's trying to at least get to the next section and see if he can avoid them. And so what I was thinking of, does he want to try to leave a trail that makes it look like he left before we do this? I think that's not a bad idea. And I think this is securing an advantage again. He's attempting to gain leverage or make preparation. So what he's doing here with trickery, so it's only plus shadow, right? He and Griff are going to leave a trail through the rocks out and stamp really hard on the ground like they ran out, and then they're going to come back in. And we'll see if this works. So this is using plus shadow. 3 plus 2 is 5 against double 3. So that is a matched hit that is a success with bonus, right? So so let's roll on action and theme and see what the bonus is. But this obviously clearly succeeds, so he leaves a very clear trail that makes it look like he ran out. And we get a 5, which is create, and 7. Boy, these dice are rolling kind of weird. Create survival. So this is creating his survival, right? So I think he manages to leave like another burnt torch. He throws a couple of his like a piece of rope, some other things. He has Griff like dig and paw in the soil, and he makes it look like he ran down the trail and left. Then he comes back in. So since that was a strong hit with advantage, I think the first few times we reveal a danger, we're not going to see if the zealots come back because they're going to now be investigating the false trail. And so if we don't get too many misses, maybe this zealot won't actually cause us a problem. We'll see what happens. So now he goes back to delving the depths, and now he's going to do it quickly and try to get to the next area because now that he's faked his trail out of there, he wants to come in on the stone floor where he's not leaving a trail. And then he's going to light his torch and move forward. So we're rolling plus edge here because he's trying to do this quickly and get to the next area. We get plus 3. And we roll a 2 plus 3 is 5 against a 4 and a 2. That is a strong hit. We delve deeper and mark progress and find an opportunity. So first let's mark progress. And then we delve deeper. So we are going to find another room and an opportunity. So and what we have to hope is we find an opportunity to scavenge because we're low on supply. So, so just hang on for 1 second here. All right, had to pause and double check something. So our features, let's see what we find. We get a 45, which is cramped caves. So there are some cramped caves here in the next section. And I've started taking to using the Ironsworn font just because it's Ironsworn and why not. And so let's draw the cramped caves here. So we come to some cramped caves. And we find an opportunity in these cramped caves. So Wiglaf steps over the body of the guy he killed and ends up in the cramped caves. And hang on, let me see if I can grab this out of here. Let's just put Wiglaf off to the side so I can see what I'm doing. And we find an opportunity. So we go to the oracles. Oh, sorry, that's a move. Go to the moves and we find an opportunity. So we can either take 1 momentum or act now. +1 at +1 if we leverage the opportunity. So let's see what we get. We get 32, which is an aspect of the history or nature of this place is revealed. So let's see, what are we going to use for the nature of this place? Should we do aspect and focus? 70. Mysterious. 29. Mysterious breach. Okay, so I think this part of the cave has another secret door that Wiglaf is able to see, or a mysterious breach. Maybe there is like a pit or something, an opening down that leads down, perhaps down into the next level, so that Wiglaf can actually get out of this section and down into the next level. And I think, because it's mysterious and it's an opportunity, I think the cave probably continues on here. It's cramped. And what Griff kind of goes over and sniffs around this discoloration in the floor, and Wiglaf gets his fingers under it and lifts it up and sees that it's basically like a downward maybe stairway, or roughly carved, that leads down. And he thinks, okay, I made it look like I went out. Let's come in the stairs, come down here, and cover us over with this doorway. And so we're now down underneath, and they won't know where I went. And I think because of that, we're going to get rid of the rule I made where we were going to have to get the zealots chasing us, because they're not going to know where we are now. Because we got a matched hit on disguising our trail, and we now found an opportunity. So I think that means we got lucky. So even though we lost the battle and we got sealed off from that secret area, we've now come down. The problem is, we don't know, is this used by those zealots, or is it used by somebody else? Hard to know. So now we're going downward. And I'm going to make this like an arrow down. And we're going to have to delve the depths again and see what happens. So now I don't think Wiglaf is going fast now. Now I think he's going carefully. He's using his expertise. Oh, and by the way, because we found the opportunity, right? So let me go back to find an opportunity. We can add +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit. And I think that's what we're going to do. He acted now, and he's leveraging this opportunity. So he is going to act at +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit. So we're rolling a plus wits with a +1, so we're at +3. And we roll another 1 + 3, though, is 4 against an 8 and a 3. That is a weak hit. So we roll on the table for wits, right? And that is the third column over, and we get a 57, which is mark progress or find an opportunity. I think we're going to mark progress here because we need to come to an area. And so let's figure out what that area is. So we've successfully delved. We mark progress. And let's find out what this is. So we find a 42, which is twisting passages. So there are twisting. So basically this cave entrance leads to a series of twisting downward passages, right? So twisting downward sloping passages that, whoops, hang on. I clicked the wrong thing. That is leading to this next level. And I think I'm going to enclose these in a square box just to differentiate. So now we're in these twisting passages. We have not found an opportunity because it was in either or situation. And we've marked our second progress. And you can kind of tell that because you've got 2 rooms. And Wiglaf is in these twisting passages. What else do we find here in these twisting passages? So let's look at, again, aspect 69, mysterious, and focus 48. Creature, a mysterious creature in here. So it's not going to be one of these guys, I don't think, because these guys are like, that's when you meet a denizen. It's not a denizen. So it's a mysterious creature. So let me think about this a little bit. All right, so this is a haunted cavern. I don't think this is a haunt, right? These are nasty things that are going to try to attack you and stuff. I think this is just a regular ghost. I think there is a sort of a ghost of maybe someone who was killed by the zealots, who's kind of floating around here. I don't think the ghost is going to give Wiglaf a lot of information, but maybe it will. So a ghost appears in this twisting passage. All of a sudden, Wiglaf is walking, and the passage is going sort of left and right and downward. And as he comes toward the bottom of it, all of a sudden he sees this faded, pale image. Is it an image of a male ghost? 50-50? 40? No. So it is a woman. And let's just figure out the ghost's name. So we're going to roll on the 6 right table, and we get an 83, which is Reese. So the ghost's name is Reese. So Wiglaf finds the ghost, this ghost named Reese, and let's figure out its disposition. Where is that? On the oracles, character disposition. Why am I not finding it? There. So what happens when you rush? The disposition 85, threatening. Okay, so she's not happy, but this isn't going to be like a combat because the ghost is intangible. And so she says, "You should not be here." And Wiglaf gasps, and he like holds the torch up toward her and holds his spear up, and he says, "Who are you? Who are you?" And she says again, "You should not be here. There are dangers ahead. Leave this place. Leave this place." And then she fades. And Wiglaf's heart is racing, and he's like in a cold sweat. And Griff is growling because Griff doesn't like this sort of stuff, and his kind of hair is standing up. And Wiglaf kind of pets Griff and says, "It's okay, Griff. It's okay. We should be all right. We've got to continue." And so he's going to proceed. He's going to delve the depths. All right. So let's see. And let me remind myself, we got a hit on that last one, right? We got +1 momentum on a hit, so we have 8 momentum. I think that's correct. So we're going to delve the depths. We have 8 momentum. And Wiglaf is... I think Wiglaf is going to proceed very cautiously now because he got this warning. We're going to use Shadow. It doesn't matter because Shadow and Wits are the same for him. But we're going to go very quietly. And one of the things that does matter is going with Shadow changes your probabilities of things like marking progress. So, and whether you reveal a danger. So, in other words, you're less likely to reveal a danger when you roll shadow, because you're revealing dangers only on double zeros and 1 to 30 as versus 1 to 45, right? When you're rolling edge, you're going quickly, so it's more likely you're going to attract attention. So we're going slowly. He's going quietly now. He's using his torch still, but he's going very quietly. He's letting Griff go ahead of him and sniff. And now we're going to roll plus shadow and see how we do on delving the depths. And we roll a 6 this time. Plus 2 is 8 against a 6 and a 4. That is a strong hit. That means we mark progress and we find an opportunity. So let's mark progress. And now we have to figure out what sort of an opportunity we find. But first, let's envision the area. So we come to 65. We haven't done anything haunted yet. A cave, a subterranean waterway. Okay. So that's interesting. So we've now entered a subterranean waterway. So we get out of these twisting passages, and we end up in a sort of what looks like a wider tunnel. And there's water heading from our left to our right, washing, or right to our left actually, because the mountains are over on the south side, right? So the water is going this way, heading toward the sea. So there's like a large underground creek or river, and Wiglaf stops, and he's on the edge of it, and the water comes out of an opening to the right and goes to the left and keeps going that direction. And I don't know whether we're going to have an opening to the north as well, but let's just go ahead and draw the subterranean waterway here. Nope, hang on, did not want to do that. I wanted to do that. And we will connect them with a line. So it's just sort of a simple way of doing this. Now, obviously, I don't know where the zealot went, but we're now on a different level. So he's over here, but above us. May have to like make another sheet. And Wiglaf is here, and we find an opportunity. The first question I'm going to ask is, does this passageway continue across the river, or are we going to have to go up or down through the river? I don't know, 50-50. Does the passageway continue to the top of the map? 74, yes. So there is an exit to the east, and there are also openings to the north and south where the water comes from the south and goes through to the north. And we find an opportunity. So let's see what happens. I have some ideas, but let's see what happens. 08. The terrain favors you, or you find a hidden path. Well, I mean, obviously, we've got this waterway. So we could take the waterway, and I think because we found an opportunity, I think there's a boat tied up here. Is there a boat tied up here? I think let's say it's likely, because it's an opportunity. 34, yes. So there's a boat tied up here, and Griff and Wiglaf then have the opportunity to get into the boat and see where the water goes. The question is, does he want to do that? Or does he want to take the boat across the river, tie it up there, and continue? Would the zealots be going down the river or using the boat to go across? So I think what Wiglaf's going to do is he's going to get in the boat, and he's going to go across, and he's going to gather information. And what he wants to know is there stuff further down this way, or should I get in the boat and follow where the river goes? So what we can do with finding an opportunity is take 1 momentum now, or add +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to gather information, and he's got Griff sniffing around. He's +1, and he takes +1 momentum from Griff too. So now he's got +2 and +2 momentum on a hit, right? And we're using, we're gathering information, right? So we're using our wits, and we're searching the area. And what we're asking is, do we find any evidence that these zealots have gone to the north, or not to the north, to the top of the map, right? Along the path across the river, or not? If we don't, then we're going to take the boat downriver to wherever it leads and see where it leads. So we're at +4 here, right? +2, +1 for the hound, +1 for the previous move. And we roll a 1 + 4 is a 5 against a 10 and a 2, so we take +2 momentum on a hit. On a weak hit, we find information that complicates the quest or introduces a new danger. So first, let's go ahead and add our momentum. So we now have 10 momentum. We built that up. And so information that complicates the quest or reveals a new danger. All right, well, I would say we're across, we're on the north side of this thing. And let's reveal a danger, right? And see what it is. So, moves, reveal a danger. And then we'll figure out where we go from there. We roll a 46. Encounter a hostile denizen. Okay, so it makes sense. There's a hostile denizen here. And maybe we won't be able to go that way. So let's see what the denizen is. If it's not a zealot or a thrall, if it's something that's maybe native to this cave, then it would be like, okay, they're not going this way because like a cave lion or something is protecting it, right? So let's see what it is. We roll an 85, which is a thrall. So I think they are using this, right? Well, wait a minute. The thrall could be in the thrall of whatever's in this cave. So is this... I feel like this area down here is probably not used by the zealots as much and is more used by the guys who inhabited this cave originally, like the original haunted creatures. Maybe the zealots blocked up that entrance because of that. So I think it is unlikely that this thrall is a thrall of the husk. I think it's a thrall of whatever else lives in this cave. Is that true? 92, no. This is actually a thrall of the husk. So I guess the zealots do come down here, and we encounter a thrall. So now the way thralls work is a thrall is a living person controlled by the will of a powerful undead spirit, in this case the husk, right? Or perhaps the white. But he's aligned with the zealots. And so he's sickly. So he encounters, is it a male or a female? Is it a guy? 34. No. So he encounters a woman who is wearing tattered clothes, has a pale skin, and almost looks like an albino, and she's guarding this area. Is she guarding the area? I think that makes sense. She's guarding the area. So let's ask: is she guarding? Likely, yes. 77. So she's guarding the area. She's got a what kind of a weapon? Does she have something better than a dagger? I think that's likely. 30, yes. Does she have something better than a short... Well, let's say a hand axe. I think that's 50-50. No. So she's standing there with a hand axe, and she doesn't have any armor or anything, and she sees the torch, and she sees Wiglaf come in the boat, and she's sort of standing back out of the view of the torchlight, and she comes forward, and she says, "You should not be here. You do not belong in this area." And Wiglaf says, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" She says, "I serve my master, and you are not one of us." "How do you know I'm not one of you?" Wiglaf says. And she says, "Because I know the cultists, and you are not one of us." So, what's Wiglaf going to do here? He could try to compel. All right, so Wiglaf has his sword out, and he says, "Griff, prepare." And Griff growls and and he takes his spear and he holds his spear up and he says, "You're the one who shouldn't be here. This cave is not for you. You cultists are breaking all of the rules of righteousness and truth. You should break free of them." And she says, "I cannot, and you should not be here." And Wiglaf says, "Either stand down or I will be forced to attack you." And he's threatening her. So we're rolling plus iron here. We Get a 4 plus 4 is 8 against a 10 and a 3. It's a weak hit. So she says, so let's see, what do the thralls behave like? They reveal their true self and lash out with unnatural strength. But he succeeded on this move with a weak hit. So I know. So it also says they're conflicted. So all of a sudden, her eyes kind of uncloud, and she says, "Please, please help me. It controls me. I can't get free. You've got to help me, or kill me. Just kill me." So now, what's Wiglaf going to do? Wiglaf says to her, "How can I help you? What can I do to help you?" She says, "It controls me. If you kill it, that will help me." And Wiglaf says, all right, so what he says to her is, let's do this. He's going to gather information. He doesn't get any bonus from this because it was a weak hit. But he says, all right. He says, "I will help you. What is it that has you?" And she says, "The husk. The husk controls me." And he says, "Well, where is it? If you tell me where it is, I can try to kill it." So he's rolling plus wits, gathering information. And I think if he hits, she can give him the information. And if he misses, the evil side of her is going to take control again. And we're going to get into combat. So, we rolled a 1. Plus 2 is a 3 against a 6 and a 10. It's a miss. Pay the price. Dire threat. Well, I think it's pretty obvious what's happening here. All of a sudden, her eyes cloud over again, and the axe comes up, and she says, "You will not hurt the husk." And in fact, at this point, I do think we need to get a name for the husk, and she's going to say his name. And, it doesn't really gain us anything, but I think that she's going to say its name because I think we should have a name for the husk. So, "You will not be able to stop." And we roll on a 47 on the right-hand side. Myrtle. That's a terrible name for a husk. Let's try 74. Corey. Don't like that either. Let's go to the other table. We've already done Merrick. 47. Valeri. Okay, I like that. "You will not stop, Valeri." Wiglaf doesn't really even know what that means, but we now do. We're going to create an NPC called Valeri. And I'm just gonna put a note here that she's the husk or he's the husk. Is it a man or a woman? Is it a man? 50-50? 100. Yes. So it is a male. Valeri is a male who is now a husk. And now we are in combat because she's going to attack. So we're entering the fray. I think at this point they're facing off because it's not really an ambush. Right? He knows she's there. She lifts the axe. She declares her intentions. And we enter the fray. And we're entering the fray at plus heart. As we're facing off, we roll a 2 plus 4 is 6 against a 6 and a 10. I'm going to burn momentum now. And make it a weak hit. And we'll take the initiative. So she jives at him, right? But Griff jumps in front of her and barks and kind of grabs at her arm and pulls her away, and so she doesn't manage to hit him, and Wiglaf and Griff now have the initiative, and now we're starting another progress track. And we will start combat in the next episode. This is, the Thrall is dangerous, so she's one creature, but she is dangerous. And we have initiative, and we will start the battle in the next episode. So we're doing okay. We've made 3 progress on this delve, and we've encountered a Thrall of the Husk, so maybe that'll help us. I think that I don't feel like we've really made any progress on the quest. We still don't really know anything more other than the name, which so what. Um, I think if we defeat this thrall, maybe that will be a box, depending on how the battle goes and if we learn anything from her after defeating her. I really enjoy these delves, I have to say, guys. It's a lot of fun. I like the mystery of what's coming. I certainly would not have created a dungeon this way if I were making it up myself, but having played it out, I'm enjoying it, and I think it's pretty cool. Um, a lot of stuff that I didn't expect has happened, and it's been pretty interesting. Until next time, I am Scrapperlock, and this has been Ironsworn, Antarctica.